All right, so we got this thing put together, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I've been on the struggle bus with this welder ever since I bought this. I bought this before Christmas, brand new Miller Matic 211 Pro, and this thing just has so many different settings on it. It's crazy. Like, this thing will go all the way, look at that, up to 600, all the way down to 0. I mean, it's just nuts. I don't even know what I was at. What was that, 380, 320? I have to look back at the video. It was 320. I don't know. Between all of this and the settings that are in the machine and the freaking volts and everything, it's just, I cannot get this. I get this thing to go good on some stuff, like this table over here, and then other stuff, like it just doesn't want to flow good. Like, I mean, these are decent. They don't look, they're nothing to write home about, you know, but they're not all stacked up high. This one over here, this 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch plate, I grinded the ends down just because I need them to be flush. But some of them are just sitting on top of the metal. Some of them upside down are just droopy. Some of them just look like absolute dog crap. I mean, just not good, man. Some of them are huge, just playing with the settings. There's the difference, flowing out really tight, building up. I'm just still playing with this thing and I haven't figured it out yet. But here's our bottom piece, so it'll work fine. This, we're just bending thick sheet metal in, so it's really overkill for how much I'm doing. I have the Harbor Freight unit right here that I bought for bending brackets. So we'll probably stick to bending brackets in this guy and pull the other big one out whenever we are doing a lot of sheet metal bends. So this one is not going to see that much pressure. If I'm putting a lot of pressure on something, we're going to go to that because that's a solid block on the bottom. And this thing is 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, or whatever. So I mean, it's freaking solid. It's heavy. It's not warped. It's straight. That's one thing I checked. I kind of alternated my welding as I was doing it, and we ended up nice and straight. I mean, we don't have any opening under the bottom that we shouldn't have. All right, so the goal here is basically that. And then we just got to put a circle on there to press that down and some braces. But that puts our piece right here in the bottom. But you can see I've got it crooked, got it rolled. That's like, let's see here. That's straight right there. So that's a hard one to get lined up. You know what? Man, I didn't think about that. What an idiot. To redo this, I don't know if I want to cut the tacks and redo it. I really don't. Put your little square piece of metal down in the bottom of the freaking jig, and then put your piece in here and put your press down on it, and that's going to rotate it perfectly straight. So don't do what I did. But I don't know, that might be good enough. I don't know if I want to cut that off. I should have just put 2 tacks on it. Man, that's crooked. But I was going to grind it to a better of a point anyway, and grind the sides off of it. So all I really cared about was just the very bottom corner. Man, why didn't I freaking think of using the press as a jig? All right, so now we have it. That's not bad at all. I mean, definitely not 100% center. Well, I did have it. Let's see how it looks if we turn it around. Because sometimes, by accident, it will fit better one way than it does the other way. You're fabricating something. That's not bad. Look at that. So it punches it right there in the center. And all that matters is the center. It doesn't matter the gap on that side or that side, because it is just going to push. There's push. The pressure off the T is going to go right in the corner of the metal, and the metal is going to ride way up here. So it's not like this. The top piece is not forming the 90. It's the bottom piece that is forming the 90. So That thing presses down in there perfect. All right, so now that we're waiting on our parts to dry, I spray painted them all up. They're gonna dry and they should look amazing. We'll put it on. In the meantime, we're gonna move forward with the new problem that I created. Now, every single time I get something new, it always kind of rearranges the footprint in the garage and it opens up new opportunities. What we're gonna do is consolidate this English wheel. Now, we don't use this thing ever, hardly. We used it for the front fenders, and we have to use it whenever we finally pick back up on this. But in the meantime, I have come up with the conclusion that this can be stored and then used as a benchtop English wheel. So basically convert it. The frame unbolts, which is perfect for our situation. So being this thing is super heavy and it's on wheels, and it's also not going to get used a ton besides bending metal brackets. So we don't really need this piece right here to go down because we're not going to be pressing a lot. And if we do, we can still use it. We are going to mount the upper body of the English wheel to the back side of this. All right, so this is what I'm thinking we need. This allows this to still be slid up and down, and then we bolt this using its original bolt holes. So if we later ever want to sell it or something, nothing's been modified, we take this little piece that's hanging off right here that we don't really need, and then you can still turn this wheel on here, meaning that if you absolutely have to use this thing for just a tiny piece, you literally would not have to mount it to the bench, and you could, like this, you could adjust your wheel up and down just fine right there, and you could roll out a tiny piece if you were doing something small. All right, so I had to put a board down here to make up the distance. Basically, without that board, then it doesn't quite bottom out. And if you go up one hole, then you can't get the metal in there. So this piece needs to be dropped down a little bit lower. I didn't do the calculations ahead of time, really. I just kind of made it, didn't think about adjustments. But this tooth needs to be longer. What we'll probably do at a later date is space this down. I need like another inch, I think. Maybe build an inch spacer block in there. Honestly, that is 2x4 is perfectly fine, or 2x8, whatever it is. I just need to cut the exact one to the distance that it needs to be and cut the piece. I'm gonna see if it slightly wants to bend this aluminum. This is pretty thick stuff, but I don't want to just go bending up my steel just for demonstrations. Like, I know it should work, but I want to test something. So this is really the only piece of flat stuff that I have in the scrap metal bucket. It's definitely bending it with ease, I can tell you that. I would never have been able to bend that piece of aluminum with the sledgehammer and a vise like cleanly. Like, it would have been a mess, like getting beat all up. See, that looks like it. That's pretty much all the way. Like, the aluminum is sitting flush there. It's sitting flush on that side, basically. It should. Yeah, it feels decently tight right there. I mean, we definitely could push it more, but that's amazing. Wow. So yeah, this aluminum definitely is not the type should be bent, I don't think, because it's like wanting to tear. I know there's different types of aluminum, but look at that. Dude, I've never been able to do that. Never been able to do that. Let's see how far off we are. Dude, that's a 90. Oh my god. Look at that. It's actually past a 90, so that's good, because that means that it bends a true 90. You just don't squish it all the way down. Wow. Dude, I'm super glad that I built this, because this is going to be amazing and allow me to literally bend 90-degree brackets. Still is not going to be nothing. I was going to test this piece, but it's not going to fit in there. It's like all crooked, and I don't really throw out anything because everything is precious to me because metal is so freaking expensive. That's awesome. I need to build a rod holder now, honestly, for up here that this sticks to. I actually got 2 magnets right there. I wonder if the magnets would hold it. They are freaking covered in dust. It's the only bad thing about having magnets in the garage. Look at that. Problem solved. There's our handle holder. Oh my god, this is amazing. So I need to go get like a 2x10. I think there's gonna be. Let me let y'all know. Or 2x12. Yeah, go buy you a 2x8. 2x8 should be perfect. It's gonna be a little shy. If you want to rip it exactly, or if you want bigger, go 2x10. I might buy a 2x10 so it hangs over and spreads the load even better, because it's a little shy right now. This 2x8 on both sides. 2x10 would be perfect, and then the length you just need is going to be like 22 1/4. So get you a 23-inch piece and fit it to there. And I think for most metal bending, I think that's going to be fine. You honestly probably don't need the 20-ton. It's just I bought this on sale, and I figured that why not? But I do know that I wanted the max spread when I looked up, because I want to be able to bend, sheet metal up to that 22 inches or 21 inches or whatever at least. And then, which this is overkill for sheet metal, but that won't do it. That won't do it. So we need something bigger than that. That's just, this thing turned out just absolutely phenomenal. If you want to do any of this, all of this stuff, you should be able to source local through a part store. All the little brackets that are cut at angles, if you want to reach out to me, my email's in the description. I can put together a price for the top plate right here that just bolts on. And you'll have to source, a tube yourself off of eBay or whatever, and I can, get you a price on all these plates right here. You'll just have to get your really big plates, because I can't, ship that. This bottom chunk right here is actually extremely heavy. Look at that. It is always so nice when you add a tool and then you can consolidate another tool. So you're not losing square footage really by adding a tool. You just need to figure out how to consolidate tools. That is amazing. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think? I think that's an amazing usage of space and how to build you a DIY metal brake. I think it's a win. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you think? And as always, I'll catch you in the next video. We're thinking about making some huge changes to the channel if you follow along. So might be a big change upcoming soon. Thanks, y'all.